Welcome to CognitionChunks. This information is for entertainment only. I am not trained in philosophy. Is this useful? Is this nonsense? Join me as I attempt to learn from GPT. Here is Eureka! Epics. Understanding the Origins of Philosophy by GPT. Part 3, Philosophy and the World Religions. Chapter 8, Medieval Christian Philosophy. Section C, St. Thomas Aquinas and Scholasticism. St. Thomas Aquinas, 1225 to 1274 CE, is one of the most prominent figures in the history of Western philosophy and theology, particularly within the tradition known as Scholasticism. This intellectual movement, which sought to reconcile faith with reason and the teachings of the Church with the philosophical insights of the ancient and medieval world, found in Aquinas one of its most articulate and influential voices. Background and context. Life and works. Aquinas was an Italian Dominican friar, philosopher, and theologian. His most notable works, the Summa Theologica and the Summa Contra Gentiles, encapsulate his efforts to synthesize Christian doctrine with Aristotelian philosophy. Scholasticism, this intellectual movement, dominant in medieval European universities, emphasized dialectical reasoning to advance knowledge. Scholastics engaged in rigorous debate, employing a method that involved posing questions, presenting arguments and counterarguments, and resolving contradictions. Philosophical and theological contributions. Synthesis of Aristotle and Christianity. Aquinas is best known for integrating Aristotelian philosophy with Christian theology, arguing that reason and faith are complementary. He drew extensively from Aristotle, whom he referred to as the philosopher, to articulate a comprehensive philosophical system that addressed issues of metaphysics, ethics, and natural theology. The Five Ways. In his Summa Theologica, Aquinas presents 5 proofs for the existence of God, grounded in empirical observation and logical deduction. These include the arguments from motion, causation, necessity, gradation, and the governance of the world, each demonstrating a different facet of the rational basis for belief in God. Nature and grace. Aquinas developed a nuanced understanding of the relationship between nature and grace, arguing that grace does not destroy nature but perfects it. This perspective affirmed the goodness of creation and the human capacity for reason, while also emphasizing the necessity of divine grace for salvation. Moral and natural law. Aquinas' moral philosophy is centered on the concept of natural law, the idea that moral principles are grounded in the very nature of humans and the universe, discernible through reason. He elaborated on the virtues, both moral and intellectual, as key components of ethical living. Impact on education and theology. Universities and curriculum. Aquinas' work became foundational in the curricula of medieval universities. His method of using reason to explore theological truths became a standard approach in theological and philosophical education. Influence on the Catholic Church. Aquinas' reconciliation of faith and reason, and his systematic approach to theology, have had a lasting impact on Catholic doctrine. His works were endorsed by the Church as a model of theological thought, and he was canonized as a saint in 1323. Legacy and continuing relevance. Thomism. The school of thought known as Thomism continues to study and promote Aquinas' ideas. Thomism has undergone various revivals and interpretations, influencing Catholic theology, moral philosophy, and discussions on the relationship between science and religion. Modern philosophy and theology. Aquinas' influence extends beyond Catholicism, impacting broader philosophical and theological discussions. His work on the interplay between reason and faith, the ethical implications of natural law, and the nature of being in essence remains relevant in contemporary debates. Conclusion. St. Thomas Aquinas' contributions to scholasticism represent a high point in the medieval synthesis of faith and reason. Through his rigorous intellectual method and his comprehensive vision of the harmony between philosophical inquiry and theological doctrine, Aquinas provided a framework that continues to influence theological and philosophical thought, demonstrating the enduring power of reason, faith, and the intellectual pursuit of spiritual truth. Thank you for joining us for another Cognition Chunks. Please like and subscribe.